Welcome back to another episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Gungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Saturday for another episode. On today's episode, I want to talk about wealth and God. My question is, doesn't God answer prayers of wealth? Like when you go to church and you pray, or you're just in your home and you pray for God to open your doors, open your ways, and grant you wealth. Doesn't He do it? Like, doesn't He have the power to give wealth to His people? That's sort of my question. The reason I'm asking this is because every time anybody makes it in this life, people just tend to go like, oh, we are Menge Illuminati. And my question is usually like, what? Because why? Why do our minds, as a collective, as a country, as like it's even all over the world? I don't know why, but why do people always go to Uyako Illuminati, and that's why they're getting all this money that they're getting? Like, I understand the theories behind Hollywood and everything, also do humiliation rituals and stuff when it comes to people in Hollywood and musicians. And I'm like, there's this musician called, I think, Doechi. I might be saying her name wrong. But this lady, she just won her first Grammy this year. And oh my God, the way she dresses, I get it. My dress, my choice. I will never judge a woman on how she dresses, by the way. I leave it to people doing their own thing. But then she was on this press conference, I think, or not even a press conference. It was just like a photo op or something like that. Because she just made an appearance, got photos taken, and then she walked out. And the way she was dressed, it was like this tight booty short and like a very small top. I should say. And she looked like she was high or something. She was walking in like she was being led by her bodyguards and stuff and her stylist. And then she came there, just smiled a little bit, took the photos, waved, and walked away with her bodyguards. And I'm like, okay. But then the people in the comments on that video, they were like, oh, she has done it. She has already undergone the humiliation ritual, and that's why she's like that. She looks like she's high. She looks like she's not okay. Something is happening. She has now realized that Hollywood is bad. She has now realized, like, oh my God, she has sold her soul eventually. And I'm like, why? Why? You win a Grammy, and that means that you have sold your soul. You do well on your music, that means that you're in Illuminati. You start making big bucks, selling out shows and stadiums upon stadiums, and oh my God, you must be in Illuminati, and that's why this is happening. And I'm like, this is just crazy. And don't get me wrong, maybe it's true, but I will never, that will never be the first thing that comes out of my mouth. Or even though I'm an overthinker, that will never be the one thing I think about people's successes. Because I just want to be positive. I want to believe that God can do it for people. Like, He hasn't done it for me in that regard, but I want to believe that God can do it for people, because I have seen people who have come from nothing, and I've seen them being strong in their spirituality and in their prayers and everything, and I've seen their lives transform and become something very, very great. And so I know that God can do it. He might not have done it for me yet, but I know that God can do it, and I've seen Him do it for others. So whenever I pray, sometimes, okay, not whenever, sometimes when I pray, I say that I've seen what you have done for others, so please do it for me. And then it might not be the same way that He did it for others. It will come in its own way. God will do it for me in His own special way. And I'll know when that happens, I'll see it, I'll be there, and I'll appreciate, because I'll have known my struggle during my prayers. I know how much I've prayed. I know how much I've cried. I know how much I've, asked God and questioned Him and all of these things. So when good things start happening to me, finally, I'll be able to say, like, yeah, God did it for me. Finally, He did. But my fear, or not even my fear, because I don't even think about it like that so much, the thing that comes to my mind is, when that happens, will somebody sit somewhere and be like, oh, yeah, she has gone into Illuminati now? And what makes it even worse is the fact that God might finally bless me and do it in a big way, because I've suffered for a long time. So maybe when God decides to finally do it for me, he will do it in a, like in a very big way. I don't know, but he might. So if he does that, and the word here is if he does that, and then somebody from my family, their time is up, God forbid, but their time is up and they die. What do people say? What would people say? They will be out there saying, oh, she sacrificed so and so in order to get all this wealth that she has gotten. And I'm like, when did we as a society become that paranoid? When did we decide that God cannot do it for people? Like, if you pray and then something good happens to you, that is definitely Illuminati. And especially if it's about wealth. Ugonjeke alafu upone. That one they say, yeah, ni Mungu alisaidia. And if ugonjeke and then you die, they'll tell you, yeah, God alikuwa ameamua kumchukua. God gives and God takes. Kama ni any other thing, masomo uende shule usome kwa bidii, you perform well. Unaona, aki ni bidii yake na Mungu, mtoto anakuanga mzuri sana. Alitia bidii na Mungu alikuwa na yeye. But then when it's about money, everything switches and everything changes and people's perspective change. Even people who knew you, like unaweza pata, even the person who is spreading those rumors about you being in Illuminati, and maybe that's why people will start believing it, is somebody who's very close to you. It's a family member, it's a friend that you thought knew you or you knew them, but then they are the first ones to change on you. And they're the ones spreading the rumors and the lies that, yeah, huyu aliingia Illuminati. Ni hao ndo anamfanya hivi. Ule hata nani sijui ule nani wao alidai after amepata hizi pesa. Alipeana. And you're like, yo, God doesn't give wealth. Like, let's leave alone our pastors. Hiyo ni story ingine, because our pastors will stand in front of us and say that God is going to do it for them, and then ask us to go into our pockets and give them money, and then they'll elevate their lives. Alafu mtu mmoja mshirika hiyo kanisa akikuja aseme, hey pasi, nililala njaa, like what Pastor Nganga did. Anakutusi, anakufukuza from the church. Ama anakuambia sijui uombewe. Like, tuombe dada yetu hapa, maisha yake yabadilike. Like, wewe ulisema tukuchangie tukakununulia gari. Tukakuchangia tukakununulia private jet. Tukakuchangia sijui tukakununulia nyumba. And then me, one of the people from your church, one of the people wenye wamekuchangia, nikikuja niseme finally niko na shida, badala kusema okay, kama kanisa tusimame na dada yetu, tumchangie pia, tumtoe kwa hii shida, unless somebody has died ama they are sick. But any other thing, ati ana job ako kwa nyumba na lala njaa, pasi anasema tumuombee apate kazi, tumwekee mikono. Sijawahi sikia kanisa ikisema ati tuchangie dada fulani ama ndugu fulani ndo apate chakula kwa nyumba yake. And maybe it's just me. Maybe the churches that you guys go to, they've done that. But I've never had something like that being said in a church. Watu watachangia mtoto aende shule. Watu watachangia mtu akiwa mgonjwa. Watu watachanga matanga. But ati mtu hana nyumba na ako na familia, hakuna mtu atamchangia. Ataenda ambie marafiki zake, familia yake, but kanisa sijaisikia kanisa ikisema kuna mfuasi, is it mfuasi? I hope I'm saying the right thing. Kuna mmoja wetu hapa nyumba yake sijui ilifanyika nini ama hana kazi, so amefungiwa nyumba, so tunaweza mchangia alipe rent, and then they pay rent for a couple of months in advance, and then they do shopping for them. Sijaisikia. Like in some churches, even tithe. For me, tithe mali nafaa kufanya kazi ni. Tithe, watu wakishatoa tithe, haifai kwenda kwa mfuko ya pastor. Ama sijui kwa church reserves. For me, tithe inafaa kurudi kwa the community. Because when we give our tithe, it's supposed to be 10% to God. And because the church is what our nini is here on earth, like representation of God and where he resides, we give it to the church. But then the church afe kutumia pesa for kulipa pastor masiju kufanya nini. I believe it's supposed to go back to the community, the people who come to that church. So wanafaa wasaidie watoto wenye ni mayatima, wanafaa wasaidie wajane. Like that's what I think tithe is supposed to do. But unapata hizi kanisa tithe imetolewa, mapasi wamepangana, mabishop wamepangana, wamechukua, wamegawiana, bla 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 bla. Because kama kuna anything inafanyika kwa kanisa, I think that inafaa kuchangiwa separately. It shouldn't come from the tithe. Unless there's nobody in need in that church, then they should put that money towards, the church growth and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't want to get into too much religious politics, so I will not do that. I'm just saying that I've never seen a church changiaing somebody to go to for like anything to do with their house rent and food. But pastor ananunuliwa nyumba, ananunuliwa gari, wengine private jets and stuff like that. Wanalipiwa matrips. Guy. Oh my God. And that is not God delivering. That is the people. But they will stand in front of people and say, this is God working in his ways, in his mysterious ways. No, man, you are lying to the people and you're making them, gaslighting them into buying for you expensive things. But when one of them is in trouble, you'll not help. And then if they work hard and they get the money from other means, people from that church will be the first ones to say like, yeah, huyu kuna mali anaendanga. I heard there's a mama flani kwa shimo flani, she goes to ama he goes to. Those are the people who helped him to get the wealth that they have right now. And then the pastor will not care, because the pastor will be like, haya, ndugu flani, now that you have money, you are supposed to be giving to the church. I've heard stories of people who have had to pay more than the 10% tithe. They're asked to give 50, 75% of whatever they earn. They let go of their cars and give them to bishops and pastors and guy, Jesus Christ. And then when they are in trouble, this pastor will be the first one to ruka them. So my question is, why do we do that to our people? Why do we let our people down? Why don't we trust that God can do things for us the same way we trust that God can do things for pastors and stuff? Because mimi nimeanzia huku chini. Like right now, I do not have a job. As I've said, I do not have a job. I pray constantly. I ask God for something more. I pray and I plead with God to elevate me, elevate my life, and all of these things. I pray for a myriad of things, by the way, not just work and money and stuff. I pray for a lot of different things that are going to enhance my life. And I know that people say hard work pays, but I'm like, no, networking should be there. Like, open the door for me and then let me go in and then I'll do my hard work. Well, I'm already in. Because huku nje saizi, especially Kenya vile iko saizi, hakuna hard work utafanya tikutamak Nairobi. Ni kujisumbua na jisumbua nani. So, time yako ikifika, the connections, the networking, zikifunguka njia, blah, 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 you go in there and you show them that you can work hard and then you improve your life. So something like that happens to me. I start from now praying and asking God, all the things that I pray for, God starts delivering them one by one, one by one, one by one. I'm the one who knows my pain. So when God starts doing it for me, I see the progress. And then I get that networking and then I go there and I start doing the job. Nimepata people who lead you into good situations, whatever. I get one of those, I start working and then I start making progress. Slowly by slowly, I'm seeing the growth. Because things don't happen just like within a night. Pole, 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 I see my growth. I continue working hard and I'm there spending my time praying to God, working hard, doing all these things that I have to do, talking to different kinds of people, different kinds of right people, by the way, not just any people, the right kind of people. And I'm doing all of these things just to elevate my life. And then finally, one day, all things start just lining up properly. And I wake up and I'm no longer like a poor person. I'm not unajua business class level. I'm wealthy. Mimi nimeona process. People around me have seen the process. They have seen how I've grown. They have seen how I've earned everything I've earned in my life. But then I have wealth and I buy a couple of cars, a huge mansion, blah, blah, blah. I start traveling all over the place. And immediately, Illuminati. She must have sacrificed somebody. And I'm like, why? Why do we go there? Don't you think that God that I pray to is powerful enough to change my life? And I know I've said that I will work hard for it. But God can decide like unamgevia asubuhi and I don't know. Umepata tu life yako imechange. Maybe it's due kuna relative fulani alikukumbuka and they died and they left you a will and you have gotten everything. They have left you everything. You play your cards right, you start working in an industry, sijui nini nini, hapo kuna mtu anakuja tu anakuona your potential and they elevate your life evil and you change like from one day to the next. I know hard work pays, but sometimes God can just do like, nani evil. Your life flips like totally upside down. Unakuwa na maisha ingine tofauti sana from what you have ever even thought of. But when that happens, people stop seeing you as the good person that they knew. And all of a sudden, you're this demonic person. That thing was said about Akode. I remember people talking about Akode evil. Oh, she sacrifices Nini people. Oh, she does this, she does that. Unabaki, yo. And Akode has told us how she got her wealth. We know. She played it smart and she earned her wealth properly. Whatever happened. But she earned her wealth and she worked hard on it. Everything she has worked hard on it and she deserves it. That's the most important part. She deserves to have the wealth that she has. But watu wanaona tu hivyo wanabaki something must be wrong. And especially if you're a woman. So if you're not in Illuminati, by the way, you are selling yourself. You're a whore. If you're a woman and you're not in Illuminati, then you definitely are a whore. And I'm like, why? Can't a woman just work hard and earn her wealth? Why do you always have to associate women with whorism in order for them to be wherever they are? Mwanamke anaingia kwa kampuni, ana work hard, promotion after promotion. The people up there, they're seeing her development. They're seeing how hard she's working. They're seeing her potential. And so she keeps getting these, accomplishments and these promotions. But the men and other women, mostly other women, utasikia tu mwanamke amekamali and like, huyu analanga na mdosi, nilisikia yeye ndo ataanzisha hiyo udaku. A fellow woman is the one who will start that gossip that other woman is only where she is at the top because she's been sleeping with the boss. Or even bosses, not just one boss, like bosses. And then if it's another woman on top, they're like, huyo mwenye akoko juu, that boss, she's a woman. She don't get there evil. Something must have happened. Either she killed her husband or something. Like, inakwanga tu, some madness has to have happened in order for a woman to be in a place of power. It is never like, oh, she worked hard for it. She's been doing the most. She's been very keen on this promotion. She did her best, blah, blah, blah. And even when the woman is trying to do her best to get wherever, like to get wealth and stuff like that, ama to get to a position where she knows she feels like she fits in, and that position is at the top, people just start putting her down. Na wafuatilie, but this woman is a person who goes to church, akos doing a money, like Mine K. Like, Mine Karaoke, I love this woman. If you do not know her, she's a Kenyan actress. She's on Single Kiasi. She was on Disco Matanga. And she has other very beautiful TV shows that she has acted on. Mine Karaoke, this woman, like if you see her story, how she started working with her dad, kwa hiyo kampuni ya construction, blah, blah, blah. And now she's also an actress and she does all these things. But then she's a church woman. Like I didn't even know that she goes to church. Because, we usually judge people from the way we see them outside there. So but then you see her anaendanga Bible study, anafanya nini, like she's got God backing her up. But is it since the new Shinaki act, and she even spoke about it on the Mic Check podcast, if I'm not mistaken. And she was like, she is tired of acting like demonya nashinda akiwa na masponyo and stuff like that, like a slay queen. She's tired of being a slay queen in shows. But then if you just go by that, you might think that she's the worst person on earth. And then you get to know like this other side of her, and you're like, yo, this woman like kabisa, because she always says it. And she akaendeka kwa stories zake on Instagram, like, let God lead the way, God's got me, blah blah blah, always thanking God for whatever she achieves. But then people see that and they're like, hapana, ina urembo yote, she must be doing this and this and this and this. And I'm like, why can't we just let people be? Why can't we just accept that there are people who are highly favored by God? Why can't we accept that if we believe in God, if we truly believe in God, we have to believe that God can give us everything and anything that we ask for. It is there in the Bible. Ask and you shall receive. So if we ask for something like wealth, we have to believe that God is going to deliver. Because if you ask for peace, God gives you that. It can be in a way that you did not want, but He will deliver. You will ask for peace and then you'll end up losing all the friends you had. You will end up losing your marriage and everything. Ujipate uko peke yako, then you realize, oh, this is the peace that I was asking for. And me losing all these people that I've lost, it's because God knew that they are the people who are making me not have peace, so amewatoa. We can believe that. You become sick and you pray and you heal and you say, God, thank you. I pray that you help me and I'm healed. Thank you. And you'll talk and say that was God. We will pray for all sorts of things and we'll believe that they have happened because God did it. But when it comes to wealth, that's where we draw the line. And you're like, no, God cannot have given you all that money. Hiyo yote wewe peke yako, mbona Mungu akupe wewe? And we forget to acknowledge the fact that we are saying that because we are jealous. Because we hope that we were the ones who would have gotten the money. Like, mbona Mungu akufanyia wewe na asinifanyie mimi? So, haizi kwa amekufanyia wewe na akose kunifanyia mimi. And I also pray. And I'm also faithful to God. So, wewe yako inamaanisha ijetoka kwa Mungu, imetoka kwa Illuminati. And don't you think that if Illuminati really existed, I'm not saying they don't, but if they really existed, and it was that easy to get in and get all the money in the world and all the wealth, don't you think that a lot of people will be doing it? Because this world has a lot of poor people. And if wealth is what drives us, because I know money, I would never say that money does not buy happiness. Because give me money right now and I'll go to the coast and I'll show you that happiness exists over there. Give me money right now and I'll hurry up and organize a trip down to South Africa and I'll show you just how happy I can be while I'm there. And that is the power of money. It can buy you happiness. As long as you have inner peace, by the way, because if you do not have inner peace, no amount of money is ever going to make you happy. Utakuna lilia kwa Range Rover, but the fact still remains, utakuna lilia kwa Range Rover. Case in point, angalia our celebrities who have millions and millions of dollars in their accounts, but they still commit suicide. Why? Because they didn't have peace in their souls. And people will say, yeah, finally, their Illuminati group finally came to pick them because they asked them to do something, they refused, and so that's why they are dead. And this is a person in Hollywood who has died because they always had addiction or something like that. But kwa comments utapata mtu tu mmoja ama watu wawili watatu wameandika upuzi kama hiyo. And then people will like, ili itakuwa comment ya upuzi and it has like 300 and something likes. Because there are 300 and something people who agree with this stupid comment. Nivletu, they do not have the strength to also go to the comments and write like, yeah, I think that the Illuminati came to claim because he was trying to get out of it. There's this beautiful actress who just died. She was on Gossip Girl. She was on Harriet the Spy or something like that. Like, her second name is very hard, so I will not even try to say it. But she died, and I saw a comment that I just did not appreciate. Because this goes back to that other podcast I recorded a while back where I was like, celebrities are humans too. Because people forget that. Then I just don't understand. Umona mtu, I always use One Direction because they are the people that I've seen mostly since when they were starting. One Direction, these 5 boys started on the X Factor. Tukaona, they were there, people loved them, their fan base made sure these boys go to the global stage. And they had fans from all over the place. I'm in Kenya. They have never come to Kenya, but I knew of them because they were being played on our radio stations. And I listened and I heard them. And then they got, after 5 years, separated or went on hiatus or whatever. And then they got onto their solo careers. But these boys, we saw how hard they worked. As I said, they only had like 2 or 3 at most weeks of holiday in between the contracts. I mean, in between the albums and in between the stage appearance and like the tours and everything. These boys worked hard. Alafu amekuja amekuwa na couple of millions, and now because they're solo careers, oh, now they're in Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. Somebody is moving with this crowd and the other one is moving with another crowd. Unasikia mtu on the comments, amekuja ameandika hapo, it's so sad that they gave their soul to Hollywood. It's so sad that for wealth, they chose to do all these things. Like, why? If it was that easy, wouldn't you also have done it? Can't you believe that just somebody prayed and God did it? So many things have been said about Beyonce. I'm not even going to defend her because I don't know her like that, but still. I want to believe that she's just a good human being. Unless we are proven otherwise, by the way. But I want to believe that she's a good human being, honest human being. She has worked hard for whatever she has, but people do not appreciate her. Like, I saw somebody else coming after Sierra. Like, God. I know I'm mostly talking about musicians, but huko ndo hii sentiment yangu imetokea. Because they are the people who seemingly make money this in the easiest form. But it's not easy and it's not quick. Because if you have not done it, you'll never understand the long trips, the long days on tour, and all the late nights, and every time you're rehearsing and all of these things. It cannot be easy work. It is not easy work. Actors, they start their careers, mnaona kwa some funny movie ama some funny series that never goes anywhere. Maybe they only get 1 season and then they are cancelled. Alafu kidogo kidogo wameanza kustar kwa mzuri and yeah, they sold their soul. That's why they back this big production. And I'm like, why? Why do our minds always go there? Because if you ask me, I bring it down to jealousy. I say we're jealous of these people who work hard and earn their money. And so the only way to make ourselves feel better is by going like, yeah, uyo, you're an Illuminati. They couldn't have worked hard. God couldn't have given them naninyime mimi. So that must be Illuminati. As I said, that's why those people who are jealous, they start to spread the rumors about these other people. And it is usually friends, it's usually family. Because now that you're earning money, they're jealous that they are not the ones who have the money. And so they spread your name and spread lies about you, and other people pick it up and they continue and they continue. And I'm like, if it were that easy, again, everybody would have joined it, and everybody will be enjoying all this kind of money that everybody sort of wants, but not really wants to admit, because admitting that I want to be wealthy means that I'm materialistic and stuff. Like, seriously. Anyway, I don't want this to be such a huge rant. Like, those are just my musings about this topic, because I believe that God does indeed answer prayers about wealth, not just about sickness and peace and other things. God also does answer prayers about wealth. When we pray, of course, there's no way you'll be praying about wealth if you have always had the wealth. It's people who have never had it, people who have struggled in life, people who have slept hungry, people who have walked back butt naked, people who haven't had the easiest of lives. They are the ones who usually pray for wealth. And the way they get it, it's never easy. Unless you're winning the lottery, it's never easy. It will be our football superstars, our rugby players, our musicians, our actors and actresses. It will be like our basketball players, all these people. They work hard, they train, they wake up early, they go, they run, they do what? They do all of these things in order to get to wherever they are. If it's not them, it's people who are working in these kawaida industries. They might not even have gone to uni, but they had an idea, and God gave them a brain that is just so beautiful that they comprehend things easily, and they see things even in ways that other people cannot. And their discernment is good, and they do all these things, and they make themselves great. They work hard. They get the right connections, and they end up at the top. But because kuna mtu huku chini, walianza naye maybe huko chini, na huyu akapanda zaidi, and this other one did not. So they sit down there and they start talking badly about that other person. They're the ones who always start the rumors. It's never somebody who doesn't know you. It's somebody who knows you who will slip up and say something that they shouldn't be saying. They shouldn't be saying, they shouldn't be thinking about. They'll start the rumor and they'll spread it just so that other people can put you down. And maybe break your spirit a little bit so that you can be like, okay, if this is what people are saying about me, then maybe it's true. So let me just give up. Alafu ukirudi chini and now you're miserable with them at the bottom. They're happy. But not really. Because they'll still be the ones to say, ni kama aliacha kupatiana sacrifices mali alikuwa napeana, that's why amerudi kuishiwa hivi. Aliona ni vigumu kusacrifice watu wake, ndio sababu ameishiwa hivi. Na usishangae watamkujia. Because once you enter Illuminati, you cannot just leave. Anyway, I don't want this to be too long. I think I'm going to end it there. These were just my musings about God and wealth. And I just wanted to tell people that God does answer prayers. Even though he hasn't answered mine the way I want him to, I still have hope that he might one day. And so you have to also hope and pray and just believe that God does it and he can do it for you too, because he has done it for other people. And you cannot give up and just say like, no. You know? So, tusikue na hiyo roho mbaya. Tusiache wivu iingilie kati, and we can't just be happy for other people. So we have to associate them, their happiness and their wealth and their pride and their peace and their love and all of those good things on something that, some entity that we are not really sure if it exists or not. Because as I said, maybe it does. I don't know. But I want to believe that if you're a good person and you pray to God and God finally answers your prayers, then that is just God doing his thing. It has nothing to do with the devil, or rather, I don't know what weird people. I want to believe that, and I strongly believe that in my heart, that God does it. God does answer prayers of wealth. And I hope that you believe that too. Because that is the only way that when it happens for you, you'll be able to like accept it. No matter what, if maybe you get one thing and something bad happens, you get one good thing and something bad happens, you will not be able to associate the two unless they're directly linked and you can see, yeah, this is the link between the two. But kitu moja kufanyikia na ni mzuri and something bad, tragic happens on this other end, you yourself, you cannot be like, okay, maybe this is why I've gotten something good because this tragedy happened. No. Unless maybe it's something like, somebody, your relative or your husband or whatever, dies and they were very wealthy, and then they leave you everything on their will. God forbid. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. As I said, I don't want this to be too long. I think I've ranted enough. That is enough musings for today. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that because, as I said, I'm trying to sleep early and it's just not easy. Because I used to enjoy recording at night, like at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., like when it's quiet and everybody has slept. But now, as I said previously, in order for me, if I don't want to record early while people are still awake, I don't think if I elaborated on this, but if I don't do it and like at 10 or 11 before I go to bed, I'll have to wake up like at 5 or at 4 in the morning to record it early in the morning, and then I go back to sleep. I think I did that like 2-3 episodes ago. I did that. I slept and I woke up in the morning because I don't know, for some reason that night. Yeah, when I was recording for Lionheart, I actually woke up at like 6 a.m. to record it because I watched the movie the previous day, but then I couldn't record it that night because for some reason there was a lot of noise that day. I don't know what was happening kwa ploti yetu or imta yetu. I don't know what was happening. But then, so I just had to go to bed. And then at 6, God was good. I woke up. I know people are still waking up and going to work, but I could pause whenever there was noise, mtu akifunga mlango ama ako kwa stairs and stuff like that. So, and then I recorded it and it sounded good at the end. When I was editing it, I was like, thank you, God. It wasn't bad as I thought it would be because I had to wake up at 6 to record it. But now, like today, I'm recording this. It's almost 12:30 a.m. and I started at around 11 something because I was like, I'm already feeling sleepy. I should be going to bed because I told you I want to go to bed like the latest at 1 a.m. So I said, look, let me start recording it. But as soon as I started, people started going up and down the stairs again. There's a group of boys. I don't know which house they are in. Wanapiga story huku. So I don't know if you'll hear it in the background. If you do, please forgive me. As again, motorbikes passing through. Like, hey, Dani, it is just too much. Alafu there's a football match going on. I think imeisha. Cause nimesikia manduru, watu wameshangilia. I don't know which team won. So yeah, that happened. So I had to pause for them to celebrate, wakigonga gonga mavitu, and then they stop, ndo niendelee. So it has been that kind of thing. But either way, I'm grateful that I have this opportunity to do this. I know it's not the kind of quality that I want it to be because I'm still recording just on my phone. I should have a microphone and I don't use any microphones. There's a podcast and stuff and all this machinery equipment for podcast. I have none of those. I just record on my phone, edit it myself and put it up. I'm still learning to edit, as I said. Putting pictures and stuff like that is hard. I wish to get to a point where I can even use animes and stuff like that. Like AI, I know is coming a long way, but I don't know how to operate AI. And most of the things that I might want to use, you're supposed to pay for them, cannot afford them. So that will be a long way off. But in the meantime, I hope that you still come back to listen to me every week whenever I upload something new, because that is what is going to get me there, to a place where I can be able to afford all these things. So please come back every time I upload something. Come back and listen. For those that do, thank you so much. I see sometimes like I get 18, 20, like people don't watch on the same day that I put it out, which is fine, because what matters is that you watch it no matter what time. Ukikuwa na hiyo time yako, you come back and you watch, you listen and you watch, and I'm grateful to that. I'm grateful for that. So grateful. Thank you. All I'm asking is, could you please be liking the Nini videos? Like ukianza tu kusikiza hivi, just like, Like what I do with this is kina mkurugenzi and stuff. The moment inaanza, I like it and then I continue watching. So could you also be doing that? Because it helps with the algorithm. Inafanya YouTube inaona, oh, people are listening to this. It's being liked by people. So let's try and make it watchable to a lot of people. I don't know. The word has disappeared from my mind. But yeah, so please like it. If you can comment, even if it's just saying good work, Ama, I like that. Ama, I agree with that. Like, comment. Nani, please. Don't just listen and then walk out. Comment. Just sema tu, but they agree with that. Ama, yeah, I know that happens. Ama, just anything. Ama, good work. Like, anything. Anything. Just comment and say something good. Or if you want to correct in kind, as I said on the first ever episode. So please and thank you. So yeah, tell me your thoughts about God and wealth. Help me answer that question. Doesn't God provide wealth for his people? Please help me answer it, because it's a little bit of I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy what people say. So comment about it. Go down to the comment section and tell me your thoughts about it. Follow me on Instagram at Mimi's Musings Podcast. And you can also DM me over there or comment over there, because whenever I post here, I post a little snippet over there. So you can comment under that. While you're commenting, please make sure to like, as I said, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I post something new, you are amongst the first people to come and watch. Okay, bye bye now.